Hey you! Thank you so much for tuning in for the very first episode of the Monday Nyquil podcast show. My name is SlowpokeFelitos. I am a part-time streamer, a part-time alcoholic, a seasonal Catholic, and an official Lego Builder license holder. Guys, we finally had someone come by the House of Slowpoke Studios to be interviewed, and I couldn't believe it until it actually happened. With none other than the wonderful and a dear friend of mine, all the way from Canada, mind you, PrincessSaphrae, here on the debut episode of the Monday Nyquil podcast show. We're gonna hear from her own words how it actually takes to run a shit show of a stream, and it's not a diss or anything. It's actually from her own words, from her beginnings of her family actually backing her up since day one, up until hopefully by the time of this recording, she had broken the 300 follower ceiling. So guys, without any further ado, let's take it with the queen, the princess of stream shit shows, with none other than the wonderful PrincessSaphrae here on the debut episode of the Monday Nyquil podcast show. PrincessSaphrae. I know I keep butchering the name. It flexes in between, but welcome into the Monday Nyquil podcast show. Thank you for making time over to come on by.
Thank you for having me, and hello, everybody.
Yes, welcome to those that are listening to the audio. She was waving at you guys, all over the place in the air. I have no idea where she goes around with her hands. Anyways,
go everywhere.
That's like a rave night here. But yes, welcome to the show. Here in the Monday Nyquil podcast show, we tend to, for those that are listening or viewing us here on YouTube or Spotify, the whole gist of the whole show is basically we try to entertain you as much as we can, or as the title suggests, we'll put you to sleep. How does that sound?
I'll take whatever.
Sure, here we go.
So.
Well, for those that are viewing you and listening to you for the very first time, please introduce yourself to your actual name properly so I can learn from this, and also where you mainly stream at.
Yeah, so my name is PrincessSaphrae. It's a play on words for sapphire. Basically, I used to go by Amethysty on every gaming thing, and I was like, Amethyst is getting old, I need a new gem. So now I chose Sapphire, but I wanted to make it look edgy, so I did PrincessSaphrae. But yeah, I stream on Twitch.
That is pretty edgy, yeah. Because it is pretty I guess that's that boost of a self-esteem where it's just I'm the princess of Twitch. Do you ever get that sometimes?
Yeah, whenever people call me princess, it takes me aback as if it isn't part of my name. I don't realize it, because most people call me Saphrae, so whenever someone's like, hey, princess, I'm like, oh, okay, princess.
With the wave of the hair.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
With the wave of the hair and everything. I know, you know what? I wish I kind of had that glossiness of your hair. I mean, is that your natural hair color, by the way?
It's this is, but it's, I've always been blonde.
Uh-huh. And it's been always that long too, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably still passing the shoulders, and it's just I've always been really envious. No, seriously, because I've always wanted to maybe rock the long hair, and whenever I'm in a rock concert, just waving it back and forth all over the place. It'd be kind of crazy. But have you ever done that before, by any chance?
I have, but my hair gets knotty really easily, so it's not good in the long term.
Not a good. So you highly do not advise that at all.
No, not if you have thin hair like I do.
Well, gotcha. There you go. Keynotes, everybody. Princess, if you may share with us, currently right now, you are, at the time of this recording, you're at 296 followers over on Twitch. How does that make you feel? Especially, believe you started back in October of 2020 streaming on Twitch?
Yeah, so I'm still in my first year. It's kind of fucking crazy, to be honest. I don't really believe that it's real.
Uh-huh.
But I am so freaking grateful for all the support, all the lovely members of my little royal court who doesn't want to be royalty. So it's fun. I love it. And it's weird. I look at that number and I'm like, how is this real?
Yeah, and then it's so awesome that you called your community the royal court. I mean, that must be high tier, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then it didn't actually always, started out with this, your humble beginnings. I mean, back in October 2020, did you really have a set mindset of you know what, I'm gonna create a huge community like this and have all these royal courts? Did you have that already laid out, or did it just happen as you went along?
Had the general idea, but I didn't know what to call it. I was actually one of my early members of the royal court. I was like, what the hell should I call us? I want us to be cool. Uh-huh. And they were like, what about the royal court? And I'm like, that works really well, actually. Uh-huh. Their name's Ungin Gamer, and I was like, this is amazing, thank you. So now we're royal court.
yeah, and it's again, at the time of this recording, it is at 296 followers. Hopefully by then you have broken the 300 ceiling.
I will shit myself.
Like literally on stream, or?
If they want it.
Yeah. Okay. For those that are listening to the audio, you kind of have to probably like tune into the video. But anywho, like you started back in October 2020. What got you into streaming?
To be honest, it was something I always wanted to do. I mean, says every streamer ever, but I've been playing video games since I was 3.
Right.
And I've been very into this for a long time. I actually was looking at my photos the other day, and I found a photo from 2013, and it was a piece of paper of me laying out my entire YouTube channel, my YouTube gaming channel that I was going to create. What? But I was too chicken shit back then to make it. But I saw this picture the other day, and I full on like broke down. I was like, holy shit, like I finally fucking did it. Because I've been wanting to for so freaking long.
Right.
It was very like surreal, being like, wow.
which is pretty outstanding, because like 2013, like back in the day, like who would have thought that you would probably get this far in streaming? Because it's not always just as easy as like turning on a camera and playing some video games. It's more than that, right?
There's so much planning. So much behind the scenes planning. I love it because I love to plan, but so much more than you'd think at like face value.
No, that is true, because like a lot of timing and effort goes into it. Because like when you first started streaming, like do you remember like what even like for equipment wise did you start with?
I have most of the same stuff now. I still use a laptop, a Dell G5. It does the trick. It's not great, but it does the trick. I have a Razer Kraken headset, PewDiePie edition. Also a big reason that I got into this whole streaming idea.
PewDiePie,
huge inspiration. Yeah, I love him. Same with like Voice Critical. He's so funny. He goes by like Penguin Zero, I think, on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I have a Razer Abyssus Elite. Oh my god, what's the word? Frickin' mouse. I'm like, what is it? Right here.
It's all you move the computer around, yeah.
I have a Razer Kaio webcam that has a built-in ring light, which is funky.
Right.
Have a Razer Siren microphone for, extra fancy stuff.
Fancy.
And that's it. I have all the same stuff. The only new thing I have is a capture card, but everything else is Old Faithful, doing the trick for me.
Wow. And see, not so many people are lucky with that. Maybe sometimes people are just like streaming through their phone, or like maybe they don't have the best audio equipment, stuff like that. And it just goes to show that like if the stars align, at least for you, like wow, like even it's been carrying you for almost a year. Yeah,
well, 2 years ago, my dad was like, it was Christmas, and he was like, here's all the stuff you need for streaming. Basically being like, hey, you've been talking about this forever, like, go fucking do it. But it still took me like another year to actually be like, okay, you're right.
And your family was behind this 100% then from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm really grateful.
That's really awesome. Like, I share this story a lot with about my folks, that like they weren't really supportive with me when I started streaming and stuff. They're just like, oh, well, you're just turning on a camera and playing video games. What's that nonsense? And like, do you agree that sometimes probably people that you tell that you're a streamer, that they probably criticize you that way? It's like, oh, you're just on camera, that's all you do?
I can't even imagine what people think of me from like my hometown.
Oh, okay.
But I don't give a shit, It is what it is. Some people just don't understand. And I've learned to just kind of accept that.
And that's always been like your MO, like just like for accepting who you are and stuff like that. Who cares about what other people think, or has it something where you had to overcome?
Oh, I had to absolutely overcome it. I've had crippling, like, I'm never good enough, and I like imposter syndrome my whole life. It's only like recently, through being educated and actually listening to myself, that I've actually been able to overcome that and like learn how to deal with it when it kind of creeps up on me. So it's only been a very recent thing, but better late than never. I'm only 23, so I'll take it.
That is true. And at 23, like you have overcame so many obstacles, and like it's just the beginning for you. Like going back to like how you got into streaming, like was PewDiePie a big influence with you coming, like basically putting this out there, like you being a streamer? Or?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
That's really cool. And like I just got into PewDiePie probably like a year or two ago, and that man, boy, he came a long way.
Yeah, he got me through high school, so I'm happy. I'm grateful.
Yeah, he's still killing the YouTube game, man. It's just so crazy.
I know.
It's so crazy that like now, like speaking with YouTube, do you ever plan on probably going back into that, where you probably create some different videos and stuff and putting it out there, or is it just going to be mainly Twitch that you're focusing on?
I actually just made a YouTube channel like a few weeks ago, so I want to put stuff on there, but I have like old Twitch VODs on there right now, but I want to like also do like gaming like recordings that like weren't live on Twitch, like that are just like separate and like made for YouTube. And it'd be cool to do like vlogs and stuff. I used to have like vlog channels back when I was like young, but they're all deleted. Thank God now. But it'd be cool to do like, stuff like that too, like vlog with my other streamer friends, like when I get chances to actually meet them in person and stuff. But yeah, that would be nice. That's not where I am right now, but that would be where I would like to be with in the future.
See, and that's very true, because like especially like how you did started from last year in October 2020. I'm pretty sure that like by then you've made so many friends that you kind of want to meet, but this whole pandemic thing is really threw a curveball at everybody. How was it that like when you started streaming, did it take to get to affiliate, and those that are still in the royal court, do they still have your back to this day?
Yeah, I was really amazed by the support I had initially, because I went into it being like, hey friends, I'm Twitch streaming now, like you don't have to watch, but if you could, you know, like watch or follow, like that'd be cool. But again, I never wanted to like be like, hey friends, you have to watch me because you're my friend, because I never want to have that expectation. It's not realistic. It's terrible. It ruins friendships. I've seen it happen with other people, but no, I was really lucky. Like all my friends and my family were like, yeah, like I'm watching you, like I got you, blah blah blah. So it only took me like a month to get to affiliate because my friends were so supportive.
Wow, okay.
And yeah, they're amazing. Like a few weeks ago, I had a really bad day, and I was like, you know what? The whole house of Saphrae is just not having a good day. I'm not streaming today, but I'll be back. It's just a bad day, you know. It'll pass. Yeah. And I had so many members of the royal court like DM me like personally, be like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, you're never sad. You're always busy, but you're never sad. Like, do you want to talk about it?" And I was like, so it was like, damn, like people actually give a shit about me, which was like a weird concept to like wrap my head around, because I'm a very like caring person, and I have a hard time putting myself first. So having like people put me first, I was like, oh, this is weird, but I freaking love it. Like,
it's such a humbling feeling, man.
Yeah.
So when you have people reaching out to you and on a personal level and stuff, and like just, you know, going about your day and stuff, like you know, it's like, wow, like yeah, people really do care about you.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling, and like for those that do check up on you and stuff, do you go about your way too as well to check up on others that are in the streaming community?
Yeah, whenever I have free time, usually it's like an evening thing because the afternoons and stuff are really busy for me. But I'll be lurking in streams, and I have like private DMs with people that I talk to that like on a very regular basis. Mostly on Discord. Discord's my main, but a little bit of Instagram too.
No, which is great, because you have to venture out all through all these platforms, because you have not only Discord and Instagram, you have Twitter, and then you have TikTok as well too. And I've actually been seeing your TikTok videos, and like you've been actually doing some great numbers too as well. And you just started that not that long ago.
Yeah, it's a very new thing. I like had a really hard time like feeling like I could be creative, but then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna post whatever, and if people don't like it, then again, whatever. But it's been so fun, and like the more videos I've made, the more things that have like come to mind for like future ideas. And my partner Matt, he's been really supportive, and like he'll be on TikTok and he'll hear an audio and he'd be like, oh, you should do this as a TikTok, like that'd be cool. So TikTok has actually been a lot more fun than I initially anticipated.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is great, because it just brings out more of the creativity in you, and then probably gravitate towards that with the Instagram, and like maybe even put some stuff implemented into your streams. Like the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I think too as well that you mentioned your boyfriend at the time. What do you call it? He has been a great supportive, and I actually got to know him too as well through you and Daddy Maddie. Shout out. Let me blow him a kiss. Because like me first. Just kidding. But no, he's been a really great backbone, and I have seen him in the streams. I have seen him in the chat, and like it's just a wonderful human being that he's just so lucky to have you. And like has it always been like that chemistry between you two, like throughout the streams? Like he's been actually okay like hopping in, or like you had to force him in at some point to come in?
No, he loves it. We have a very like good like dynamic. Like we love to joke with each other. We both love video games, so having him in has just been amazing. Like it's nice to be able to share that part of my life with everyone, and for everyone to be so supportive of him being here. Like I did a 24-hour stream the other week, and there were like 2 hours where I couldn't do it, like 4 to 7, or 3 hours, 4 to 7 a.m. I was like, I need to close my eyes. Like I can't look at a screen anymore. And he literally hopped on, chugged a Red Bull. He's like sitting here. He's got his freaking like knee up like this, like just chilling, playing Super Mario Sunshine, like literally like rambling to himself. And
right.
Like he loves it. Like
Wow.
he's so supportive. It's great.
What a trooper, man. Because then, like, yeah, 4 to 7 a.m. Just I'd be knocked out. I'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude.
Yeah.
Very supportive. And then, like, also as well, there are some other people in the community in the Royal Court that probably have played a big role into bringing you to the dance of streaming, and it's such a wonderful thing. Where probably you see others that like are influenced by you and like really take an appreciative of what you do for them too as well, and that's such a beautiful feeling, right?
Yes. Indescribable, really.
Indescribable, yeah. That's the best feeling in the world, yeah. I do see sometimes with your streaming in particular, like for your streams, that I actually envy a lot of streamers a lot, is having a set schedule. How is it that you probably have a full-time job, and then like you have a supporting hubby, and then in fact you have your obligations, stuff like that. How is it that you find time to stream, especially on a schedule?
True. Yeah. I'm very like anal with having a schedule. Which works well with Twitch. I use Google Calendar. That is my tried and true. I just plan everything that way because my weeks change on a weekly basis. So I release my schedule on Monday, and I know what that week's gonna be like. I wish I could have like where it was like, oh, every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm streaming at 7 p.m. and this never changes. But that's just not realistic with me right now. I'm gonna be a full-time student in the fall, and yeah, we all have obligations, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, but I just plan it at the beginning of the week, and I get it out, and then it helps a lot because I know I have that set structure at the beginning of the week to kind of carry me through.
Yeah, and you mentioned that was Google Calendar. You mentioned. Because
yeah.
I gotta write that down. Google
Calendar.
Because I was telling Saphrae offline before the podcast show started that I do happen to have at least, I told you on your stream actually, that I have to have at least more than 5 calendars. It's like,
yeah,
that's bonkers.
And it like lets you color code everything, so there's like the perfect shade of purple to use for the Twitch streams. It's very satisfying to
do. Can we actually see possibly a YouTube video of that pretty soon down the road?
I would love to do that.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Because color coding is not my thing, and I would love to learn something.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Damn, that's pretty crazy. You being a full-time student in the fall of this year, going with that, does streaming, like basically does your streaming life have some sort of effect in a positive or negative way outside of your life? Like, do you carry this momentum outside of streaming, or is there something where like you're online, you're live here on Twitch, and you just have this persona, this alter ego? Does that come about during your outside streaming life, or is it just like it carries over?
I think that streaming has made me a lot more confident and comfortable in my skin, so there's a lot more of cohesion with who you see when I stream and who I am offline. I'm kind of like in the middle. Like I feel like I'm extroverted at sometimes and introverted in the others. I'm a little more introverted, so there are times off stream where obviously I'm quiet and I'm like reading a book or just wanting to watch TV for like an hour in silence because I just blabbed for 6 hours straight and my throat hurts. But like there's a lot more cohesion now because it's been weird. Like it's made me so much more comfortable with who I am, and like being able to look at myself on a camera and like not want to like throw up. like cause you're like, especially with like editing TikToks, you're watching the same fucking shit over 100 times trying to edit it because it just keeps playing and playing and playing. So you kind of have to get used to like looking at yourself and not wanting to vomit. So it's helped a lot in that aspect and helped me like have more energy. I think as a whole, I think it's just made me. It's been like a huge like mood booster, I guess. So now. The Saph you see is the Saph you get more often outside of stream too.
And that's probably great because like maybe there might be some people that might not have seen you probably in forever, and they'll be like, "Wow, you're totally different and stuff." And you probably get that a lot, huh?
Yeah, with people back home, I'm different now, but a good different. It's just like a big thing. Like I was always super shy and like unconfident, so I feel like I'm a new and improved version of myself.
Which is great because I really think that like with now that your new and improved self, does that help mentally too as well when it comes to streaming? Where like almost like if it's therapeutic for you.
100%, yeah. And like and if I know that like I'm not feeling good that day, if I'm anxious or I'm tired or I'm just like bleh, I'm like I'm not gonna stream today because it's not fair to myself. It's not fair to you if I'm in that like headspace, right? And like now I'm at a point where I feel comfortable sharing the days that I'm having a hard time because it's human. It's fucking natural. Like it happens to the best of us. It is what it is. Like and I think I'm at a point where I feel like people are so understanding with it too, which helps. So that even on the days where, I'm struggling mentally, it's like it's not because of streaming, it's because life sucks sometimes. And
which it can, because like at any moment in time, probably I don't know, something can flip of a dime where things might not go as planned. You'll probably just end up canceling. But like how you mentioned the story a bit ago, where the World Court probably like just carried you over, and like it's like, oh, like can you check up on you? That happens a lot nowadays with you, correct?
Yeah.
Which is great, man. And it's especially how I see it too as well, where like I get DMs all the time, like people checking up on me, because like as of this recording, like I've gone through some mental issues, and like for sure it's totally okay to not be okay. And seeing a therapist is one thing where it can be very beneficial.
Yeah.
Very beneficial. And I think too as well with streaming, it could kind of carry a little bit of like a weight on your shoulders, like a more added pressure in a sense. Does that sometimes have a sense of a struggle when creating content on your end?
I definitely go through like a few days like where I feel like I can't like do anything. Like I'm like, oh, there's like nothing, there's no juices flowing. I don't have any like extra bit in me to do anything aside from what I already have planned. So what I do to kind of combat that is I have a bunch of TikToks pre-filmed. I have a bunch of stuff like set to YouTube already, like just to be scheduled like and release at this time. Like it's already uploaded. So I'm doing a lot of like pre-planning so that when I have those like days where I'm feeling not creative, I still have things coming out that like require no extra effort from me, but still like aren't like putting me like off of my progress, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's smart though, to have some backup backup videos or like concepts and stuff, just to be ready to like launch out and stuff. Like, do you happen to have what's like the bare minimum, I think, if someone were to actually step in your shoes and be like, or like step up to the table where like, you know what, I'm going to be streaming, I'm going to like create content, stuff like that. How much should somebody have as a backup in order to have like, in case they run into a writer's block?
Wow. I mean, I have like 20 to 25 TikTok drafts.
Whoa! What? That's amazing.
Yeah, just like ready to go. And then I have like 5 videos on YouTube because I upload like 2 to 3 times a week, so I have 5 already like ready in advance.
That's very cool. I mean, that's a lot of backup videos.
Yeah, Instagram and Twitter, I'm definitely slacking a bit on those because it's hard. Like, I don't know how to like pre-plan posts on those platforms, so yeah, those are a bit tricky for me. But that's what I have. That's what I try to do, anyways.
That's kind of true.
Yeah.
With social media, what is your go-to social media platform like to keep people in the loop?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say,
Swerve.
Instagram, I think I post most on TikTok, but I feel like Instagram's the most effective and the one I'm most comfortable with.
Okay. Yeah. What do you say with Twitter? Because for me personally, I feel like I see you more often over on Twitter. It's just mostly like reposting and like just giving people likes and stuff. I feel like that, but I kind of get with the scheduling. I think with Instagram, you're very like on point when delivering these streams and stuff,
Yeah, I have it all like planned out, so like I'll have like one picture of a schedule that I need like a picture of like my face or just something that's not like a Canva image. I'm really trying to create this little like aesthetic, but yeah, I love Twitter. I just feel like I suck at Twitter. Like Twitter's like the one area where like I really envy you because I feel like your Twitter game is like strong, and mine is not where it should be.
Excuse me. Hold up. Pause. I'm throwing the time out for those that are listening. My Twitter game is on point? No way.
Yeah, it is. Because it's so, like, raw and real, and it's not just like, hey, I'm streaming, or, like, this is my stream schedule. It's like, hey, this is what I'm doing today. Like, hey, my stomach's acting up. Like, I'm fucking tired today. Like, you're just, like, whatever. And I admire that so much because it's so true, and it's so raw, and it's so human, and it, like, really forms that connection, like, off screen.
That's true. I didn't really think about that because, people just like could send as many tweets as they can, unlimited, like just whatever's on their mind and stuff. And granted, that could be a double-edged sword. Maybe sometimes negative can slip up and like it might come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
So maybe stick to Instagram. I mean, leave Twitter for those that are really like living on the edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't trust myself that much.
After a few Trulies, you're like, oh, let me. I'm currently sitting in the bathroom toilet. You know, just something like that.
I stay off my phone after a few.
You probably had a Danny Maddie. You're like, here you go.
I don't want to embarrass myself that much. I've been drunk on stream. That's enough. Like, if y'all see that, that's what you get.
How was that experience, though, for those that did not see that?
Oh, it's funny as hell. Like, I mean, I think drunk streaming is funny. Like, people will just be like, "Oh, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate." You're like, "Oh shit, I'm getting fucked tonight, aren't I?" Like, but it's like fun to do every so often because it feels like everyone's like drinking with you. And like usually, if I do drunk streams, it's like with Daddy Maddie and Kenzie Pie, and we're like, we all know that we're drinking, and we all know we're gonna like get drunk and just like be stupid, but like we're doing it together, and it's fun. Yeah,
you're over here like, I'm gonna get an Uber. Oh wait, I'm already home. Never mind, cancel the Uber.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I did want to ask you one thing about for someone in the aspects of mental health, where if there is somebody struggling with like any like mental issues that like maybe they are probably showing it on stream, because sometimes one might not even know or get the hints of like maybe they are showing like sadness through the screen or whatnot, or maybe something where like, oh, it's stopping them from streaming because of it, you know. Do you happen to have something where like you could probably give it an advice in a sense of when it comes to having like those kind of like maybe some illnesses in someone's mind?
That's a hard question. I mean, like obviously like my DMs are always open, but like in terms of like advice, it's tricky. As a streamer, it's good to be prepared for those kind of like situations. I have like commands with like crisis lines if people come in and they're like really not feeling okay, so that way it's a quick way for me to like hand a resource over, because obviously there's only so much I can do while I'm streaming.
That's true, yes.
So I think that like having commands to offer people like that immediate support is really helpful. And one thing I haven't done, which I would like to do, is creating like a resource page like as like a text channel on my Discord. Okay. Okay. I think that would be really helpful. That way I can like direct people in the right way, but it's hard to like just say advice because it depends on what the person's giving to you. I feel like my advice would be very different from person to person, just because I'm trained to have certain answers to, because I'm studying in school like this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a tough question to answer because it's broad. It in is. My brain. Okay, so what if it's anxiety? What if it's depression? It's like I got this resource for this and this resource for that, and yeah.
No, that is true. I mean, it all really depends on what the situation is. I think if I want to narrow it down for this question, would be probably like maybe someone that's not having the confidence in them. Like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me, or like maybe I should just give up after like a week or two, you know? What would it be for you, you think?
I have this saying that I really like, and it's really cheesy, but it works, you know?
Okay. Let's hear it.
And it's never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game.
Wow. Okay. That's motivational as fuck. Wow.
No, yeah, it's from a cheesy romantic movie called A Cinderella Story with like Hilary Duff and.
That's Hilary Duff. I remember that movie.
Oh, yeah, but like that statement is like so powerful. It's like I spent so long being so scared of like what would happen if I did this. Like, what if it doesn't work out? And it's like, look where I am now. If I never tried, I would never be here. I would never be confident with myself and comfortable with myself and able to have such an amazing group of people in my life. And when I think about that, I'm like, yeah, like if I continued to let the fear of striking out get in the way, I wouldn't be here. And I'm so happy and so grateful to be here. So I think that would be like my nice little blanket statement as cool. Motivation if you're feeling like unmotivated. And also TikTok and YouTube are your best friends with all the tutorials you could possibly need to start. Like everyone has your streamers are out here like, hey streamers, or hey future streamers, like I got you. So everything that you're confused about, you can find. I promise you.
That's very true. Like YouTube and TikTok are your best friends when coming up in the streaming world. You know.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful time to be a streamer, and like watching you. It's such very calming. I want to say, when watching your streams, it is very calming. It's you already know it's gonna be a chill vibe, and then those that show up in the chat, it's so amazing. What was her name? Kira? I don't want to butcher her name.
Yeah, Kira the Kiwi.
Such a wonderful.
I love her. She's so cute.
Yeah. I think if I really do want to like, give someone a shout out from your royal court, Kenzie Pie and Kira, two of the most wonderful human beings I've got to know through you, actually.
Yeah.
I
love it.
It's so wonderful. Do you happen to have a currently small goal that you hopefully want to accomplish later down the road?
Oh, it's like hard when I think about goals, because when I think about goals, the imposter syndrome kind of comes in. So it's like, yeah, I have a goal in my mind, but is it realistic?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, is it actually realistic, or is my imposter syndrome creeping in so much that I can't see that it actually is?
Right. And there is like the difference between small goals and big goals. Like for sure, probably both of us could be. We're gonna be probably like a Twitch partner. That's probably like the one of the big goals, right?
The big goals, of course.
Realistically, though, it might take a long time, or maybe it might never happen. None of us know. But currently, right now, there must be a small goal that you probably happen to have. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna check this on my bucket list. Is there anything? It doesn't have to be related to streaming, by the way. It could be probably something where like the launch of your podcast, which, by the way, what was the title of that, by the way?
It's the W Sisters. All lowercase.
All lowercase, guys.
Yeah, honestly, right now, my big goal is kind of like for the end of the year sort of deal.
Oh, okay.
Would be reaching 500 members of the Royal Court would be really cool. I would literally, cool. I don't even know what I would think if that happened, but I think that'd be super cool. And yeah, my podcast just came out recently, the W Sisters, and we're doing all things pop culture, and it's a very new thing. We're both new to podcasts, but it's so fun, and like it's helped me have such a great appreciation for podcasts. And if we could get like 500 downloads by the end of the year, that would blow my mind.
Yeah.
So like 500 I think is a big number for me this year. That would be nice.
That is pretty big, yeah. I mean, the big goal I think too for 500 followers, it is a monumental step to break. I mean, let alone 100 followers. I mean, for Twitch affiliate, it's 50 followers, correct?
Yeah.
A bare minimum 50 followers, at least stream at least 7 days a week. 8 hours of the average views, correct? Or average 3 or something like that?
3, yeah.
3, yeah. And afterwards, the biggest obstacle is actually going to having at least average of 75 viewers.
Oh, yeah.
And what was it? At least stream. I can't remember. Was it 36 hours or 40 hours? Maybe.
It's a lot of hours.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. With the 500 goal, hopefully by the end of the year, do you happen to have like a set future stream that you want to do for that, or a concept idea that comes to mind?
Oh. I obviously want to do like a big like celebration stream, but I don't know, like I don't think I'd want to just do one thing. And right now I'm really continuing to try new things. Like this next month I'm doing a karaoke stream. I'm doing a Lego stream, very much inspired by you and the Chosen Sam. I'm trying games I would never have tried if it wasn't for Twitch. Like I'm trying all these different things. I think that whatever I do, it'll be awesome. But right now, I could not tell you what that awesome thing or things.
No, but you actually did tell me a bunch of small goals, like trying out different games and Lego building and karaoke. Yeah. That's a lot of like little small goals right there that you hopefully are going to be accomplishing really, really soon.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And then with the fact that by the end of the year, we'll hopefully get to that for you. For 500 followers, it's
I would try.
Yeah, try you will. Is there one thing that you probably want to change differently that like at least something that'll probably get you more exposure? I don't know if you want to try like Instagram Live, or if you want to try TikTok Live or something like that. Is there something that's probably? Oh,
I think TikTok Live would be really cool. I'd be very out of my comfort zone, but I'd be down to try it. Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good way to put yourself out there too as well. Because I've seen people where like they're on TikTok Live, and granted, all the ones that I've seen, those streamers aren't paying attention to them. I don't know what it is. Like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, they just like go live on Twitch and then have it like looking at them, and I think it's like a way for them to get people to go watch their live stream, but it feels like weird because it's not personal, because you're seeing like their side profile the whole time and they're not even like looking at the TikTok Live, and you're like, what is this supposed to be? I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, you get people talking sometimes. If you've seen big streamers that do that, it's kind of weird because you have the chat blowing up and stuff, and like they kind of know that they're in this little in this little game of like, you know what, they're not paying attention to us, but hey, you know what, we're still here, we're chatting, and it's like I don't know. It's kind of weird, but hey, if it works out for you, it's weird to me.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I just like, to me, it feels like weird.
Sure does. Yeah. And that's why I don't really want to try it personally, but maybe I should probably try it. Or maybe I'll learn from you. Maybe if it ends up working
Yeah.
out, I'll I'll be like, wow.
Oh, I'll be your little like guinea pig. I'll try it out or something.
Yeah, I'll be like super inspired by you. Like, yeah, you know, if she can do it, why can I, man?
Yeah.
And now, some slowly but surely rapid fire questions. What is your favorite go-to Starbucks drink?
I get an ice shaken espresso with half of the regular syrup and half of the toffee nut syrup, and I get it made with almond milk instead of regular milk.
Wow. And what size? I'm pretty sure it's a. Oh, hang on. I know the sizes. Is it okay? Venti, grande, and then tall.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. I got it.
I usually get grande, 'cause venti like really like gets me wired. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you ever happened to had a bad experience at a drive-thru?
I wouldn't say I've had a bad one, but I had an embarrassing one when I first started seeing Maddie Daddy. We were going through a drive-thru late at night, and he thought it'd be funny if he like asked the McDonald's person for like extra salty fries, but he has a lisp, and he also made it very sexual. So it was like, "Do you want a salty fry?" Like it was like very like intentional, and like. I was very shy back then, so for him to even do something like that, I was like, "This is so embarrassing. Why am I in the car with this guy? Like, I can't do this." Like every time I went out with him, he'd be like, fucking twerking his ass in the grocery store, and I'm like, "Can we not just get groceries?" Like, he's very like rambunctious and like outgoing, and he's the type of person like marches to his own drum or beat his own drum. Like, he just doesn't care what people think. Like, really doesn't care.
Right.
So he's like taught me a lot through that. I've like learned to not be so embarrassed about things and stuff, but. Yeah, that was an interesting drive-through experience for very early on in our togetherness.
And here you guys are today, strong and going
4 years later.
There you go, story goes strong. Them twerks are still holding up, right?
Oh, they sure are. Yeah, he's a twerk master.
Wow, I'm gonna have to get some pointers from him. Wow. Okay. So, do you happen to have a go-to purse?
Purse?
Yeah,
oh, that's an interesting question.
Like, do you happen to have one set, right?
I have like a Lululemon fanny pack. It's called like I want to say like an all-arounder sort of bag. It was $40. Tried and true. It does everything I need it to.
Okay, and in that bag, what are your must-haves in there?
Lip balm, hand cream, hand sanitizer, gum. I just like to like smell good. Like, not be like crusty on my surfaces. So like very basic, boring stuff, but it works.
Hey, it's your go-to.
If I'm feeling crazy, I might have like a metal straw in there, you know, like really going crazy. But
no, I mean, if that's your go-tos, that's your essentials, that's your must-haves.
Yeah.
That's what it is. If it's boring, it's boring. It's okay. At least those are essentials, though. The hand sanitizer nowadays is really essential.
Yeah.
You never know, like, what Grammy spots you'd be touching. You know what I mean?
I know, it's scary.
Your favorite restaurant?
Chili's.
Have you ever had?
Okay, you know what? I'm Canadian, and Chili's has the best fucking vibes. Every time I visit my family in Texas, every Friday night it's Chili's night. The girls are going to Chili's. My stepmom will take me to Chili's with all of her coworkers, and we get $5 margaritas. And the freaking ranch at Chili's is like something else. I don't know what they put in it, but it's magical.
Okay.
And I love chips and salsa. Chips and salsa is my favorite snack. So I'm like free chips and salsa. So I love Chili's. I love it.
You are an advocate for Chili's. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Chili sponsored me, even though I'm in Canada.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Send me your ranch.
Like a whole
That's
jug
what
of
I
ranch.
want.
Here you go.
Yeah.
What'll be the first thing you do if you travel to the States? Now that
Oh my god,
opening?
visit my family. I miss them so fucking much. I haven't seen them since February last year, and it's so hard, like not seeing them. Like mentally, it's been a big roller coaster. Yeah, I haven't seen my dad or my step family since last February, and I'm really close with them, so it's really hard. Thankfully, they recently started their own YouTube channel, and it's like the cutest fucking thing.
What?
So now I just like watch their YouTube channel and I like pretend I'm hanging out with them. So like at least I have that way of like feeling close to them. But it's been hard. It's been hard.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I can only imagine FaceTime could be pretty rough sometimes.
Yeah. Lots of tears.
Yeah. I think I moved out of the house 2014, and yeah, the first couple of months were pretty rough, and then I guess for you almost a year and a half probably, yeah, around that time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been living with all my parents since I was 18, so it's been like 6 years. But like, I typically would go and visit them like 4 or 5 times a year. So not seeing them is like really tough. That's a big difference for me.
Yeah, so
because even like 5 times doesn't feel like it's enough, let alone like none since February. So
I
yeah.
bet.
Yeah.
Terrible. But you know what? Things are hopefully opening up again. So we shall see.
I'm ready. I need it.
As we kind of narrow down into our podcast session here in the Monday Nyquil podcast show, how would you describe to those that haven't watched your channel or that are new to the channel? How would you describe it as a whole when people start tuning in?
Wow. A mediocre shit show. Yeah.
Why is that?
If you're like coming to like see someone actually be good at a game, you're not gonna like be very much. But if you like to teach people how to play games, I love backseating, which is a very controversial thing.
Why is that?
So a lot of people don't like people telling them how to play games, which I mean is fair, but I love it because I need all the help I can get.
Oh,
and like,
is that what it's called then? Backseating?
Yeah. So people like hate it, but like I don't know how to play games. Like the games I play on stream aren't games that I'm familiar with, so I know nothing.
Okay.
Especially now that I'm playing Pokemon, I'm like, what fights what? Like I don't know any of this. I'm
the Pokemon Unite game, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and even like Pokemon Shield. So like I will take all the help I can get. So if you love backseating, at least you love me in that way. But it's a shit show because you never really know what to expect. Sometimes I'm talking for 20 minutes on mute. You never know. Sometimes my camera just decides to like flip all the way down because it's a little loose. I need to tighten it a bit, you know. Sometimes my dog just is half of the stream because everyone loves his cute little face and redeems my channel point, which I love.
Aww.
You know, it's just you never know what to expect, but I promise that I can do my best to make sure you have a good time.
which you do.
Yeah,
as a long-time viewer and as a long-time being in the short span of like being in your royal court, it's just always a wonderful vibes that come in by, and then like you always greet everybody too, like those that stop by and say what's up, like you just like, you know, happily just wave at them, hello, and ask them about their day, and you just get back into whatever it is that you're doing, either gaming in a sense of like trying to do your best or like just talking
gaming's a stretch.
In quotations for those that are listening, in quotations, gaming, because not all the time, like sometimes with just chatting, I think you've tried doing sessions like those, and how did that make you feel with just chatting? Because it is a difference between chatting for 20 minutes and then hopping onto a game and doing a just chatting stream session. How has that been for you?
I mean, when I first was like considering it, I was nervous, but thankfully you pulled me into a video chat a few nights before and like really gave me a good pep talk, and I was like half in the bag, and I'm like, whoa, this is like really good stuff you're telling me right now, and I was like, maybe I can do this, like.
Because it does seem like it's easy, right? But like ultimately it is kind of hard. You freeze, or just like you run into things how to talk about and stuff. And like, what is it that you grasp that that's kind of helped you, like, you know, flow smoothly with these just chatting stream sessions? What's helped you with that?
One thing that you told me, which was really helpful, was having that background music. Like, I think I did one where there was no background music, and I was like, hi. And there was like a lot of like silence, and I was like fuck, like I was like so in my head about it.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't think was the best, but it happened. You know, we move on, we learn. And just like kind of like being prepared and having a few different options. Like most of my just chatting streams now are tier lists, so I have like 5 that I'm gonna do tonight, and I'm just going bam, 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 bam. It's just like the planning. Yeah. Because if like I have hiccups like midstream, I'm like internally panicking. I'm like, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck, can I do this? Like, I don't know. So it's really just like a lot of that pre-planning again that really carries me through and helps me not like freak out in those moments as much.
Because it can
again,
be
I'm just very anal. I need that planning to like be level and be sane, and I'm okay admitting it because you know what, it works for me.
Yeah, and it's really great because a lot of people that tend to view us think that we are professionals, or like, hey, you know, we got this in the bag, but ultimately it does carry some added pressure, and I do believe that you are a perfect example of, like, you know, just testing the waters to think that, you know, just because you had a hiccup of a bad timing and stuff like that, that's not going to knock you down. And a lot of people do really show, I guess, that connection with you, because wanting to start something like this where streaming or turning on a camera can take some guts, like just chatting or at least having a camera on while you're I'm sorry, just having the voice on and no camera on just takes some guts too, as well as it is, because like it could be a lot of added pressure. I always say that all the time, and with you attempting something brand new, at least for this year, to knock out your bucket list is something of an accomplishment that I do personally want to congratulate you. I do want to congratulate that.
Yeah, I've done a few 12-hour streams, a few 24. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know what I was thinking, but it all worked out. I don't know how, but it did. And I'm very happy.
You made it out alive, yeah.
Yeah.
You made it out alive, and with those 12 hours, 24-hour stream sessions, you did mention about karaoke. You did mention about hopefully with the 500 follower stream, you do want to do something to celebrate that. Do you happen to have, other than those, any other upcoming projects? Like you did mention about the podcast. Can you want to tell us more about that? Where like, how does one actually start a podcast, or what comes into with an idea, or should you start by yourself or with two people? How does that come about?
Yeah, that it's been something we've been thinking about for like probably the whole year now.
Okay.
But we like didn't know how we would do it. I knew I had the equipment like on my end, but she was like, I don't know anything about this. Like, how do I edit? How do I do anything? So yeah, I started it with one of my best friends, Maddie, who is conveniently dating my boyfriend's brother. We set them up, and we're living in La La Land now. So now my best friend's dating my boyfriend's brother. Yeah, so it's a whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a movie. I don't know, but
right.
But we've been friends like forever. We were like, let's just fucking do it, like whatever. But so we filmed like a few episodes. We have our whole schedule planned on a Google Doc. We have every episode outlined on a Google Doc, and then we just fill our sections. So again, like Google is the best for this shit, like and planning. And like if anyone needs help with like general outlines, I could make you one and send you one. But then like in terms of uploading, we use Buzzsprout, I think is what it's called, and then it like automatically uploads to like Spotify for you, and we also upload to YouTube, and then all the other platforms we haven't figured out, but just if you upload to Buzzsprout, it helps you upload everywhere else, which is like fun. It's the most like complicated part of like podcasts, I'd say, but yeah, we're just kind of talking about all things pop culture. We both have very different interests in terms of pop culture. She's very into like Harry Potter and Harry Styles and Marvel, and like I'm a Marvel noob, so I'm learning a lot, and I'm into like video games. I mean, as everyone fucking knows at this point,
right?
Like,
Yeah.
And like I have studied stuff about the brain for the last like 6-7 years in school, so we have very different interests, but like it's still all different regions of what we just call pop culture. So that's why we decided to start the podcast, so we could kind of like tackle all these different branches and have like basically a noob and a more experienced person talk about it. So we are the W sisters, and it's a play on words because in theory one day we will be sister-in-laws. So, yeah, but it's fun. I love it. I love podcasting a lot more than I thought I would. I thought I'd be like really nervous about it, but I think because I've had all the experience with streaming, it's made the transition to podcasting a lot easier because I'm a lot more comfortable talking now.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to transition if you have that sort of experience.
Yeah, and then especially maybe if the significant person you're going to be collaborating with may either have some similar aspects of actually what you're coming from, or may be able to match those all together and come up with something great. Because right now it currently is on. You guys are on episode 2 or 3 at the time of this recording.
We just released episode 2.
Okay.
I love it though. It's so fun.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are just barely starting, and I think one thing that probably I would probably give personally for podcast streaming, like streamers alike like us currently, is to have some actual backup to what you're going to be talking about. Because I think to you right now, even though it's episode 2, do you find that where it's kind of hard to actually grab some ideas of what you're going to be talking about, or do you guys already be like, all right, cool, we're going to be talking about this, all right, cool, great?
Oh, because we've been wanting to do it for so long. Like, we have the next year planned out.
Wow!
I'm not even kidding. Like, we have everything planned out.
Wow!
Yeah!
That's amazing!
So, for me, no, but it's just because we're so interested in this stuff. And, like, she was already doing a blog of the same thing and just transitioned to doing the podcast instead because she preferred to say it out loud than write it down. And I used to, like, read her blogs and, like, comment and, like, text her about it. So now it's just, like, it's like a passion project. Like we're so passionate about it that like it just It's so easy. It's great. It's great.
That's great. And what would be something that you would probably tell someone that's going to be starting to do podcasting? What would be something that like almost a helping hand to somebody that wanted to start?
If you are trying to make money off of a podcast, it's gonna take you a hot minute. Which is why I call it a passion project, because I think a lot of people go into podcasts being like, "Oh, I'm gonna make money right away," and it's really far off of reality. Is me putting it lightly. That's like that was never our goal. We just like are so passionate about these things that we're like, let's just talk about them and see if people agree or if they have like cool other facts to tell us. But like, I feel like a lot of people at this point in time, because podcasts are so popular, really go into it. Being like, oh, this is going to be a good way to get sponsorships and this and that, but there's a lot more to it, and it's kind of like streaming in that sense where you can't go into it being like, oh, I'm going to make money and I'm going to have sponsorships and this and that, because that's not the case, and also that's not why you should be going into it. But like, I feel like at this point in time, a lot of people have that mindset, and it's so unhelpful.
Yeah, it's not healthy either, because like you have that you set those standards pretty high, and then if you get disappointed, you probably knock yourself down pretty low below the belt, and like, it's not as easy as it looks.
Great making money doing things that you love, but like you can't have those expectations because it could ultimately ruin the things that you did love at one point, too. So
that is true.
Only do it if you're really passionate about it, because it is a lot of work. But it's really satisfying if you do really enjoy it, which thankfully I'm in that boat where I'm like we had a whole episode on Taylor Swift. I've been listening to her since literally forever. So I talked about her seamlessly for an hour. I was like, this is great. I'm like, I can tell everyone all my favorite songs, and I was like just having such a good time. So like if it's that sort of feeling for you, then like you're gonna do great.
Yeah, because those for example, that Taylor Swift episode, people will catch those vibes too. It's like, wow, like she's really into this. Like, man, maybe I actually want to tune in. Maybe that'll give me that vibe to listen to her. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of those things where like you kind of have to have that passion for it, because you do not want to treat this as a job. Because if you start treating it as a job, you get frustrated, and then by then you'll be like, I'm fed up. I'm out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it can't be that way, especially like for us streamers. Like this can't just be a job. This is for what I believe is this hobby of choice. And then if things were to add up with the subscriptions and gifted bits or subs and etc., that's all the plus.
Yeah,
that's all a big plus.
But at the end of the day, like my plan in life isn't to like I'm not expecting for this to ever be something that big, you know. This is just something that I've always wanted to do, and I just want to be able to have fun people to share this with and fun people to game with. And like I'm not going into this being like, oh, I'm gonna one day never like do anything else and I'll be a full-time gamer, because that's not realistic. And I'm also not going into that. Like I'm doing my master's, like I have a career path like set up right now, and if I were lucky enough to have all of this success in gaming, then yeah, that'd be great and I'd hop on that shit. But at the end of the day, like that's not what I'm going into it doing. I'm going with the flow, enjoying the journey. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey or whatever. Like I'm just having a good time, and like I've met so many great people, and that's just what I want to focus on.
Like, as you should, because at the end of the day, it's a hobby of choice, and if you're having fun, you're gonna get to places. And like you mentioned, like so many people that brought you to the dance, and like it's just a wonderful like way that with Twitch, for example, how much of growth one actually goes through, and how many people we actually start like befriending and stuff. Because ultimately, when the borders open, I've always mentioned you plenty of times, and Daddy many people, you guys are invited to the next carne asada. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It's so wonderful to get to meet people. Like I say this all the time. Like, I outside of streaming, I rarely have any friends. You know what I mean? And so like being able to call you as a friend, and especially your hubby, it's just like it's such a wonderful feeling that even if off stream, even if like if we're not streaming, like maybe I could probably message you up, be like, hey, hope you're doing well, or like, hey, you know, I have a good concept idea. It's just something like that where like the networking, sure, it works and beneficial because, you know, you probably follow people that you love and stuff like that, or like love to support. But at the end of the day, making friends is just a bigger plus here in this platform. And to be quite honest, like, if I haven't met you, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It's such a wonderful time in life where I get to meet certain people like yourself that are coming to my life, and I could call it as it's just a wonderful feeling.
It's such a blessing.
yeah. So hopefully one of these days, probably like Beard Rona, we get to kick her in the butt, get her out of here.
Oh my god.
Because ultimately, in Canada, it's been really different, right? With the United States, it's been like a slow, steady pace. We got our vaccines and stuff ready to go. But for you, it's been over there in Canada, it's been quite differently, right?
Very secluding, very very lonely. So having the support on Twitch has been like extra meaningful during this tough time.
Yeah, and so what a wonderful time to be a streamer, right?
Honestly.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky. Literally every day I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is this actually my life? Like, do I actually have these like cool people that are my friends? I'm like, what?
Yeah, dude. And you get your master. Dude, who can say that you have a full-time job, getting their masters, and being a streamer? Who can do all that? But you.
But I don't know how I'm doing it.
Don't worry about it. You're doing it right now. Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Don't bring up the old stuff, man. Why are you bringing up the old stuff?
I'm like, cool.
PrincessSaphrae, Sapphire. Again, I'm gonna keep butchering it from the day till from here now to infinity.
Okay.
This is a moment in time where I leave you the floor. I would like to give people like a chance to where you can put yourself out there. They're listening or viewing to this podcast episode to have people to come by and be like, hey, you know what? Who are you again? And where they can find you.
Wow. Hi. I am PrincessSaphrae. You can call me PrincessSaphrae, Sapphire, whatever the heck floats your freaking boat. Princess of Genovia, if you're Slowpoke.
Excuse me, let me bow my hat. Princess of Genovia.
I simply put, I'm a small Canadian variety streamer, but I'm also a mediocre shit show, I think is a better description of me. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all those main social things. PrincessSaphrae is how I go, SAPHRAE. And I also have my podcast, The W Sisters, all lowercase, which is on Spotify and YouTube and Twitch and Instagram. That's it. I think that's all.
Yeah, let me see. You don't have MySpace, do you? No, MySpace. Okay. Facebook, I forget about it.
Yeah, I don't use Facebook.
It's okay. No. We're grown now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure having you, PrincessSaphrae, into the Monday Nyquil podcast show. I hope that somebody out there grasps something new from you. This is what I tend to do with these new revamp for the podcast show. Nowadays, beforehand, it used to be just, rambling about random stuff or like just random topics that I like to come about, like maybe, I don't know, for example, the road to affiliate, or how on a TikTok video got like over 120,000 views, and like just like
holy shit.
Yeah. It was just like random stuff, but now I've turned it a completely 180 because like as you quite know that being a small streamer, it is kind of difficult to put yourself out there. You have to really like work hard and like put yourself out there and networking. And again, there's only so many social media apps that you happen to like, put yourself out there. And there's only one of you.
Yeah.
So it's just a wonderful time that you're willing to spend over here, especially on your busy life schedule. Getting your master's, full-time streamer, full-time, working, and like having your significant others and obligations and your family and loved ones and stuff. I am really honored to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
that's so sweet.
Just like I said, I tell people all the time that you're a wonderful human being. I especially when I do these raids. Raids are basically when you're live on Twitch and you try to find somebody where you want to gravitate the audience over to someone else. If I see you on there, automatically I'm just like, hey, you know what? You're gonna have a great time. The House of Slowpokes is in good hands whenever PrincessSaphrae is on live, because you're gonna have one heck of a time. Even though, you know what? From now on, I'll probably be like, hey, yo, you guys want to see a shit show?
Yeah.
There she is. But any final words before we end the show for tonight?
Wow. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for listening to me, because sometimes my mouth goes faster than my brain. It's part of who I am. I hope that even in this really difficult time, you do have pieces of life that you're able to recognize are positive, because it can be challenging, but they are out there. And if you can't think of one, then hey, you're here, you're existing, and life will go on, and it will get better. I promise you that. You're not always going to be stuck in this dark tunnel. It will get better. And hopefully we can bring a little ray of light in that tunnel as well, and hopefully you can have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, depending on whenever time you're listening to this podcast.
Beautifully said. Well, thank you so much, Saphrae, for tuning in. And those that are tuning in live in video or on Spotify in the audio portions, thank you so much. And we'll see you then next time. Adios, everybody.
Bye.